Hello, Nick. So we are going to finally get into it. I'm very excited. I'm feeling better, and we're going to hit it. Got the ice chipped off the sidewalk for now before the next storm comes in. And I'm drinking a dark Czech lager from Old Nation. I think it's called Fenestrum or something like that. So all right, so let's get into this. Let me show. So in the rules, I think I mentioned last time. So uh, the French player has one march order, and I have that set up right here. We're gonna unit ID is Pigeon, which he's right here. And so with march orders, you have to specify a town or a bridge hex site as the definition. So we have specified Montenotte Superiore, right there, that little town, as the target. I mean, he's pretty close and he's got good initiative values. He'd be able to get there anyways, but we'll let him for sure get there since he's at the front, and then we'll have this guy just have to go on his own initiative to try to get over to the Montenegino. Interesting with the rules for march orders how it says bridge hex side. So a bridge, let me find an example. So here's an example of a bridge hex side. It's got the little frayed ends out, and then these are spans. So I don't know if spans are a legal target, a span hex site. I mean, it says bridge, and I think whenever I see anybody ask Zucker questions, it's always like, I mean, he's very much, hey, it's spelled out in the rules, go by that. So I guess you can't target span as your hex sides. You'd have to do bridges. But for our case, we've got a little town that we'll be able to use, and it just so happens to be on our victory hex that we need to get. So that is set. So let's go through the sequence of play here. So I don't know where I found this. I mean, what this is just from the sequence of play in the rules. But I found the one thing with the sequence of play, it kind of wraps over into another page. Certain spots, I think it might go a little more in depth. So I can't remember whether I must have found this because it's got a date on it. So I must have found it somewhere on BGG or OSG site, but it's a nice little thing just to follow right down. So let's go. So we're doing a day turn. It's divided into both player turns. The first player goes first and the second player. So the French are the first player. And for this, we're going to roll the weather. And let's see, let's get the weather. So over here, so normally I think the generic thing is you roll in the first turn and then you roll at noon and 3. But on here, it specifies we're going to roll on this first turn and then we're going to roll at 9 and then every 3 turns thereafter. So we're the Montenotte scenario. We're at 7 a.m. at the moment, so it looks like we don't get the 6 a.m. modifier, so this is just going to be a straight roll. Let's see what we get. 6. Oh boy. So we're going to have mud. Mud to start the game. That is wonderful. So then we put the next weather to 9 there. All right. So we've got that done. And now we do the card segment. And let's see, I've got the, put this off to the side. Let's look here. So here's the card rules. And let's see, I can't remember, first turn, so each player is going to draw their mode cards to start. And then, and I think we actually implement the mode cards and then and then we have the turn. So on the first turn, draws the scenario. Yeah, I think the way it's done is we activate the mode cards, and then the French player will go first. So as we, oh, I shouldn't have put the study folder away. So in the so we are playing the approach to battle, and it shows us that mode cards at start, the French are going to get 2, and the coalition are going to get 1. So I've got the mode cards right here, and again, I've already gone through and taken out the cards that weren't supposed to be in this battle. So there's four possible cards here, and the French are going to have to draw 2 of them. So I think what I'll do is I'll roll 2 dice and re-roll any above 4, and to get what we have here. All right, so we've got those shuffled up. Let me roll my dice. So I got 2 2s. So let's take the first 2 out. Let's re-roll the other 2. 5. Let's re-roll. 2. Boy. 3. All right. So cards 2 and 3. So there's card 1. That's not ours. We're going to take the next 2. Put this one out. So these are what we're going to have to deal with, and we implement them in numbered order. So let's see what we got. So first, we're going to have replacements. So your army sees replacements, invert any reduced strength units, and we don't have any at start reduced strength, so this card does nothing for us. If we would, like if Rampon, if he would have started out reduced like that, we would have flipped him over. Actually, however many were like that, we would, I guess it cannot exceed 8 strength points, and then we would lose a VP. But so this didn't actually happen for us. So all right, that's not bad. And here's a interesting one. All right, formation scattered. So this is going to give us a VP point because it's going to cause us a little inhibition to start, which could suck. So we'll roll a d6 to see what we get. So I got a 2. So we've got a reluctant guide. The coalition player chooses a road or trail within 6 hexes of the strongest hex in the selected force. That is not across prohibited terrain. French player redeploys the scattered formation on that road in road march column using the selected hex as the head of the column. Oh, wow. All right, so what this means is, so the strongest hex, so right now the French have 2 units. They're both strength of 5, so the coalition player is going to be able to pick whichever one he wants, which I'm thinking he'll probably pick Rampon because he can kind of move him the furthest away, so it makes Pigeon have a little more trouble getting up there maybe. So let's see. So he chooses a road or trail within 6 hexes. So let's see. No, that makes it closer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I could put him right on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll put him right there on the. This is actually a French reinforcement hex, also Austrian reinforcement hex. They can enter there. So we'll put Rampon there, and then we redeploy the rest of the formation on that road in march column. So Pigeon's going to come over here, and let's see, I got to get my counters out. I'm not even prepared with that. Let's get some road march. All right, and then when you're in road march, you can't be next to each other. So one way, there's couple of different ways you can, mark the counter like that, or kind of a nice way to do it is you put it behind him, and then that makes it so that, okay, you can't be next to another guy on the same road. like a legal way, even though they're next to each other in this hex. There's no road or trail connecting them, those hexes, so that would be legal. However, this would not. Oh no, that would be too, but because there's no connection there. But this, if this guy's in road march, this would not be legal because he's adjacent and he's on a connecting road. So, all right. So, and we keep this card so we know that, all right, we've got one VP coming to us. All right, so here's the coalition. So they've got 5 possibilities, but they only have to choose one. So let's shuffle these all up, and then we'll roll the die. All right, so there's that. Let's roll the die. And we got a 3. So 1, 2. So this is going to be our card. Let's take these out of the way. See what we got. Early arrival. Ooh. All friendly Atstort forces on the map are in command for the first turn. All right. So we'll actually, so that's going to cost them a VP. So already we're ahead and they're in the hole. So we'll put that. Oh wow, that's actually really good. So the whole, everybody, even the Piedmontese are going to be in command, which was going to be, for this guy, he's only a 2 quality, which we'll get into all that, how you get people in command and moving and such. So all right, so we've done that. So now we're going into the command phase. So I think we skipped this on the first turn because everybody at the start is considered in supply. So we don't need to worry about that. We don't need to have anybody to recover or reorganize. So we go to the command segment. All right. So normally, if there's any out of command markers on the board, we would take them. Let's see. I need to get some of my markers here. So here's kind of the 3 types of command markers. So you've got somewhere there's an in command. I don't have the right here. Excuse me. All right, so you've got in command. They're out of command, but they achieved initiative. You can put these on people when you need to check them, and then these mark like they're just totally out of command. They weren't able to get initiative, and we'll go into what that means as the situations come up. So now we allocate command points, placing officers and combat units in command. So the French have no officers or commanders on the board to start. So we skipped that. So basically, so really what we would need to do is we'll put a check on Rampon, and we don't have to do anything with Pigeon because he's under a march order. So he's going to activate regardless because it doesn't matter for him. So we won't even bother checking for him. So we put our little check marker out for who we need to check, and now we go to the command movement phase. So in this phase, all forces that are in command would activate. But remember, we didn't have any officers or commanders on board to put people in command, so we're done with that already. Now we go to the initiative movement segment. So here's where we're gonna check. So for Rampon to move, he's got an initiative rating of 4, so he has to roll a 4 or less in order to activate. And this is actually going to be troublesome if he fails to activate. He's going to hold Pigeon up. Pigeon. All right, so he rolled a 2. So he is now, he's out of command still because he had no officer or commander to put him in command, but he's able to activate. So let's see. So we look at this card. so when you use the cards, like normally infantry has 4 movement points, cavalry has 6, and light cavalry always has 7, regardless of everything. But when you use the cards, you use these movement rates. So infantry is going to have 5 movement points, and all cavalry would have 7. So, but we don't have any cavalry on the board. So, so this guy is Rampon is in. Well, he's in road march. He's going to, let's see, so he's got 5 movement points. I'm trying to think what's the best way. He probably wants to get out of Pigeon's way. So what he'll do is he'll go, so this would actually be just 1/2 to here. I wonder if, oh yeah, you know what? So he'll go 1/2, 1. Then he's going to go 2. He's on a trail now. That costs 1. So normally, if he wasn't in road march, going across this span would cost an extra movement point. But because he's in road march, he doesn't have to worry about that. So he's at 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we can put the road march behind him. Oops. Yeah. All right. So now, normally we would have to roll for Pigeon, but since he's got that march order active, he just activates and goes toward his space. So he had to start, he's basically, like there's a hex in between here because how far back he was. So this would be 1, and since this is a road, it's half movement when you're in road march. 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I do that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And then we put that road march behind him. All right. And I guess for consistency's sake, he's also out of command, regardless, because there was no leader to make him in command. And we'll see what that means once we get into combat. Basically, if you're out of command, you can't advance after combat, which can be kind of a detriment as you push back your enemy. You want to be able to take that ground normally, and not being in command keeps you from being able to do that. All right, so now there's the combat phase. We're not adjacent to anybody, and that is it. That's the first player turn. So now we're going to go over to the Austrians, and we start all over again. So we don't do the weather segment. We've already done the card segment. So their movement's going to be 4/6. But remember, because of this card, everybody is in command, and that is pretty awesome. Okay, so normally we would have to roll for command, and we've got Argento up here, but he's already considered in command. So we basically skipped the command segment for this, and now we're into the command movement segment. So everybody who's in command can move. So I guess let's start over here with the Piedmontese, and we've got Torn Forte, and we've got the 3rd Artillery. So let's see. So they've got 4 movement points. They're going to enter. Let's see. Oh man, if I enter, I'll have them. They'll have to separate if I put them in the road march. But that's going to get them the best ability to get far forward. So yeah, let's get a couple road march. So we're going to move them. Basically, we're going to move them separately. So road march guys can move through non-road march units. They can't. I don't believe they can. Well, I don't know if they can end movement on a non-road march unit. I don't think they can, which then makes me wonder, can he enter a road march right there? Oh, that's reinforcements. Let's see. I just may throw him into road march, and we'll adjust if we find out later. Restrictions. is adjacent to friendly units that are not in road march. Units in road march may not stack or move as part of a stack. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if I'm legal to like declare that he's in road march, or if I have to move him one and then he enters road march and goes. I mean, since he can move through, this is really part of his movement. So we'll say he's entering road march, and then he's just going to go. So he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this guy will enter road march, and he goes 1, 2, 3, and he's got to stop there because of the other guy in road march. And they would like to get up to Carqueret, or maybe even go sit on the French supply source. And I believe this might be where Napoleon enters the next day or two. All right, so, and so by the way, so up here is the Piedmontese train, which I think I discussed. Its trunk line is going to be through here. And so for them, it can throw supply 14 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this guy will be in supply, and this guy would not be, but we'll hopefully change that. So this guy, I don't know if I have him. Maybe he kind of moves up through here. Yeah, I guess so. And might as well have him enter road march. So he goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And it doesn't cost anything to enter road march. It costs 1 movement point to come out of road march. All right. So then let's just do Argento quick here. So road march, I don't think is going to do a whole lot for him, except for it would save him going across the spans. But there's not going to be a lot. I mean, this very first one he's going to do it, but I don't think separating up his forces. Well, he could do it though, because they'd all be within 2 if he was with the center guy. He's got to get down. Yeah, sure, why not? I'll have them all end up going into road march. Got to get the counters here. All right, so we're gonna have the IR 8, which I don't know what IR means. So he'll enter road march. He'll go across that span. It'll only cost him 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll put the road march behind. Same with this guy. He'll enter road march. Get there. And that other guy's not even going to be able to move. And Argento will put himself there. So Argento's command range is 3 hexes because he's an officer. So these guys will be within range. So he'll be able to keep, as long as he is successful with his initiative, which we'll see next turn. And they'll be able to stay in command. So, and the core wagon, or not wagon, the train, it'll just come there. It always moves at basically like it's in a road march rate. All right, so what do we want to do with these guys? Dago is pretty important. Man, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just move the Piedmontese up a little bit. And man, though, I'd love to get so those guys in Dago there are part of Argento's formation, and getting them over to help him out against the French early on would be big. So yeah, I think what we'll do is, what we all got in here? So we've got 2 infantry, and an artillery. Yeah, I think we're gonna have them head over to hopefully link up with Argento. So let's get some more road march, because they want to move fast. So the first guy will enter road march, and he'll go across 1, 2, 3, 4. And the next guy will enter road march. He'll go 1, 2, 3. He can't move anymore. You know, because he could always like go this way, but staying on that road allows him to go at a quicker pace. So he could, if they follow that road, they can get all the way down here, which gets them closer to things over there. And then the reserve artillery will end up there, and we'll put his road march right there. All right, so that leaves us the Piedmontese. And I almost think maybe they should just stay back and defend Dago. Ooh, that's a chateau right there. So maybe we'll leave the smaller guy in the chateau, and this guy will go 1, 2, 3 to hang out in Dago, and this guy will stay in there. All right, whether that's a good idea or not, I do not know. All right, so I believe that's everybody. So then there'd be combat phase. There's nobody adjacent to have combat. There's no artillery that can see anybody for bombardment. So that's the end of the second player turn. So we are done with the 7 a.m. turn, and we're going to move on to the 8 a.m. turn. And I think I will end the video there. Maybe I'll probably do the French turn, and maybe I'll stop and film a little of the Argento's turn, since they'll have to they will have to roll for initiative next time. So this card I got to keep, so we know. Oh, that is a thing too. We're gonna have to we're gonna have the card segment. So yeah, maybe I'll do the next turn in a separate video, because it is going to show a few things. You know, the second turn card play, and then Argento we'll see an officer attempt initiative. So yeah, I think we'll do that. So I'll end this video here, and we'll come back with turn 2, and we're gonna get moving. Laters.